I didn't know what you were talking about.
Let them get settled for a second. She's pretty quiet tonight. Sometimes she yells and hollers when she comes in, so we'll see if she's going to do it for Emma today. She's got to check everything out around behind her. Michelle's our handler today. You'll see Michelle takes her mask down. She won't be talking, but it's pretty dangerous to walk with an animal this size with the mask that blocks your vision. And Destate, the eagle, she does things sometimes that you don't know are going to happen, and you can't be fumbling with your mask if you've got to deal with an animal of this size and strength. So that's just part of how we have to do it for your safety, the eagle's safety, and Michelle's safety. So, like I said, sometimes Destate does things that you don't know she's going to do, which means sometimes she decides she's finished sitting on the glove and she jumps off. So, Michelle, no worries if you see Destate do that. Don't worry, Michelle will get her back. She's not going to let her go. Des won't be running around the room terrorizing. She just will hang off of Michelle's glove for a second until Michelle gets her back up. So just sit quietly and just leave it to Michelle. She'll figure it out. Michelle and I do our bicep workout a lot because you have to handle such a big bird. Weighs about 14 pounds. Doesn't sound like a lot. But later tonight, go home, get a gallon of milk, stand in your living room and just hold it. Everybody will think you're crazy, but you'll kind of get an idea how difficult that is. And a gallon of milk doesn't weigh as much as Destate. So you'll be wishing you had a tripod to lean on too. So, Destate was shot as a baby. She's about 3 months old. Someone shot her in the wing. The wing closest to Michelle, she has only half of it. She's a partial amputee, so of course she can't fly, can't be released in the wild. That's why we have her at the Nature Center. U.S. Fish and Wildlife called us 18 years ago and asked us if we could take a bald eagle that had an injury. And we did, and we're happy we did. But when we got her, she was really, really mean. Think about it, she'd been shot by humans. Then humans had found her, and they were helping her, but she didn't know. Because they were holding her down, they had to amputate the wing that was hanging off where she'd been shot. Then she had to be stuck in a small enclosure for close to a year to rehabilitate. So then we got her, she was about 1 year old. Humans were evil, and she hated all of us. When we tried to feed her, we couldn't go in her enclosure. We had to crack the door and throw the food in, or she'd come after us. And she can squeeze about 1,000 pounds of pressure in each foot. Strongest person here, only about 125, so big difference. You don't want her to grab you with those feet. They have to be that strong because their food tries to get away from them, and it fights back. So if they weren't that strong, they'd never be able to hold on to the kind of food they eat to wait for it to die. That's why they have to be so strong. But lucky for us, she started to mellow out over time. We had a volunteer who used to come sing to her daily for months. He would sit in front of her enclosure with his guitar and sing to her. And after a while, she mellowed out. And he asked if he could name her. And we're like, what do you think? Sally, Susie, Becky, Misty? He's like, no, Destate. And it means may the sun shine on your face and in your heart in a good way. And it's Apache. Our volunteer was an Apache chief. And he was so good with Des. They had such a cool bond that when he named her, the day he did it, he was able to go into her enclosure and not have her come after him. And he was able to put his hand on her head, bare hand, no glove, and give her a blessing and name her. It was a pretty awesome sight to see. Michelle and I, we've known her whole 18 years at the Nature Center. We can't touch her head. She had a special bond with Mike that we didn't have. It's taken us a long time for her to trust us. Because guess who gets in trouble if Des feels nervous? Like if you run up there and try to touch her, guess who's in trouble? Michelle. She'll let Michelle know, wait a minute, you don't let people run up on me. You're handling me, you need to protect me. So you'd be fine, it's poor Michelle. So we hope you like Michelle and you're not gonna run up on her. Because she's very nice. And she's a key player at the Nature Center, one of our 100-year volunteers almost, I think. She's been volunteering to do this stuff for many, many years. We couldn't do our jobs without our volunteers at the Nature Center. I started as a volunteer and got a job. So even cooler. You can work your way into a job if you start as a volunteer. And you get to work with birds that can squeeze 1,000 pounds of pressure. So if Des really wanted to, she could squeeze right through that glove. All that glove is doing for Michelle is keeping those big pointy talons out of Michelle's hands. Des could squeeze right through it if she wants to. She's so strong. But we're lucky. She chose to be able to go out by mellowing and trusting humans. Kind of like you chose to be an eagle, right? Eagle Scout. Awesome. So can I ask you a few questions as we go along? All right. So what was your most difficult badge to get? Robotics. I didn't even know that was one. That's cool. Every Eagle Court I do, I learn new badges. So what made it so difficult? Yeah, did it take a long time? Like weeks or days or 2 days? Pretty difficult. So did you know bald eagles build some huge nests, maybe 10 feet in diameter, and they're 60 to 100 feet high in trees. And it's a lot of work to build those nests. Think about flying sticks up 60 to 100 feet. So sometimes those sticks are 4 and 5 feet long. And the eagles will try 30 and 40 times. They get halfway up and they drop it. But they keep trying. They know they've got to do it to get better, to better their life by building that nest so they can have some babies. So they just keep doing it. And so we like to think those are like getting the difficult badges. You've got to do it. It can't all be easy. Or you don't appreciate it if it's easy, right? And so what was your easiest badge to get? Gardening? That sounds like a fun one. You just have to go out to someone's yard and pull the dandelions and plant some flowers, or what do you have to do? You have to grow your own garden. Very fun. Love it. Yeah, that's two I've never heard of. Yeah, we've done hundreds of these. I've never heard of robotics or gardening, so awesome. But thank you for teaching us something. And what did you do for your Eagle project? Oh, nice. Did everybody hear that? Sorry, she made fleece blankets, 100 for McCady Hospital. Very awesome. Love it. I've always loved the Scouts. They've done a ton of cool stuff for us at the Nature Center, too. They've built some of our enclosures where some of our animals live. In addition to Destate, we have 2 golden eagles, hawks, falcons, owls, raven, crow, snakes, spiders, and many Scouts have helped us build some of it, even some of our smaller animals. They built these cool lids for some of our aquariums that lock. So it's pretty neat. They've also done, a couple of boys did Eagle projects by fixing some bridges across our streams. A boy a couple of summers ago redid all of our picnic tables on the entire 153 acres of the Nature Center. He sanded them all down and gave them a new coat of paint. So we love the Scouts at the Nature Center. They've done so much for us. So, you know, your easy badges are like the little sticks that the eagles get to fly up to their nest. Takes them one try, but they've got to do it. Easy and hard can't all be easy. And if it was all hard, we would never feel successful. So you have to do it that way. So you're the first girl in Weber County, correct? That's pretty awesome. I think, was it your mom told me there's 6 total girls, Eagle Scouts in Utah? Pretty awesome. I looked up a few things. I know the first girl was October of 2019. Isabella was her name. She was in Minnesota. So that's pretty cool that now, since that first girl, 2 years later, there's thousands of girls that have become Eagle Scouts. So I thought that was pretty cool to learn. So I like to look up fun things about Eagle Scouts, and then so some of you are probably way too young, but really cool Eagle Scout to me is the movie director Steven Spielberg. That's for the older crowd. Little kids are like, ooh. He did the Jurassic Park movies, big movie director. I don't even, those are even too old for you guys. And let's see, who else? Only one president, President Ford. I thought more presidents would have been Eagle Scouts, so I was surprised by that. Lots of presidents were involved in scouting, but President Ford was our only president. United States president, I should say. And let's see, so your name's gonna go down in history as one of the first girls, which is pretty cool. You know, so when someone's doing Eagle Courts in 20 years, hopefully still with Destate, because she could live to be 50 in captivity, they might say your name. Say, hey, Emma Rose was the first Eagle Scout female in Roy, or in Weber County. So I like stuff like that, pretty cool. We all know Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon, right? He was an Eagle Scout. So Eagle Scouts do pretty cool things. It's a good thing to have on your resume. I joined the Navy in 1997, and 2 guys in my recruiting group were Eagle Scouts. They got to come in at a higher pay grade than the rest of us because they were Eagle Scouts. So we got to come in as an E1. The E1 pay grade, they got to come in as E3s and E4s. So we were all like really jealous because they were Eagle Scouts and they got to make more money. So very cool for them that they did the hard work and became an Eagle Scout. Totally worth it. A good friend of ours, in fact, Des's former main handler, who she loved very much. Now, she's loved 2 men in her life. It was Mike I told you about, who named her. And then Bryce, who used to be our wildlife specialist at the Nature Center. He is now retired. Des loved him. Bryce could kiss Destate on the face, and he could rub her and give her and touch her. Michelle and I would lose digits if we did that. But Bryce was an Eagle Scout. And he had all these cool stories of things that had happened to him just because he was an Eagle Scout. When he was in his early 20s, he moved to the East Coast, and he needed to get an apartment. His family had given him a check. Do the young people know what checks are? Pieces of paper with, okay. Gave him a check to cash when he got there so he could get an apartment and get set up. So he found an apartment. They needed the cash. He runs to the local bank and he wants to cash the check, but they're like, well, you're new here. We got to hold the check for a few days to make sure it'll clear. He's like, I can't wait. I've got to have the money. And he's like, I'll have to try somewhere else. So the teller gave him the check back, and as he put it in his wallet, the bank teller said, wait a minute, you're an Eagle Scout, you're trustworthy, I will cash your check. She saw his Eagle card in his wallet. So he got his check cashed, got his apartment. So look at what you've done. gotten in this group of people that you better follow the rules and be good, right? Because it's a pretty reputable thing to be an Eagle Scout. So, and he has a ton of stories like that. These cool things that happened to him just because he was an Eagle Scout, not for any other reason. So, congratulations again to you. Do you think you want to get your picture taken with Des? Yeah. You can. You don't get to hold her.
I want a picture.
Well, I'm so glad because I've been to Eagle Courts where the scouts thought they got to hold her. And they were very disappointed. But I was like, whoa, it took me like 8 years to get to hold her. I don't think you're going to make it in one night. So what you want to do, come on up. Let's go, you can go on that side of her. And then you are the photographers. Please take your mask down for your photos. Don't look at her if she looks at you. So don't look at her right now. Just for safety. And if she hits you with her wing, don't run away. It's a good thing. Yeah, that's good luck. So you got good luck. Yay. I'm so happy. She's looking a little feisty. See these feathers on her back? Those are, you can look at her now, real quick. There you go. Yep, her hackles were up there for a minute. Yeah, everyone's, oh, yeah, you've got glasses. Great story. We had a scout with glasses on one time. I had just said, don't look at her. And he goes, like, leans, he was short, and he leaned like this to look at her, and she grabbed his glasses and threw them on the ground. Oh, your heart stops when that happens. The glasses survived, and it didn't hurt him, but it sure was scary. And every once in a while, she likes to nibble on the American flag if you get a little closer. Not that you want that. But you got the wing tap, so that's good luck. Is there anybody you would like to have in a photo with you?
Mom, your mom.
Yeah. Yes. So, well, come on, Mom. Come on up, Mom. So while they're doing some pictures, I'll tell you a few more things. So, Des Tate eats rainbow trout, quail, and rats at the Nature Center. She loves rats a lot. None of her food comes to her alive. It's all dead. We buy it frozen and thaw it for her. She's already compromised, so we don't want to make her work any harder to get her food. You know, she can't fly, so, and because her food fights back, we don't need her to get more injuries when the food fights back. She eats, it's close to a pound a day they're offered. Doesn't mean she'll eat it every day, but she's offered that every day. You know, and she's got it really good. Anybody else? You want some of your troop, or what about your leaders, Emma, Monica, and Lindy? Just if you're gonna come, just walk slowly in front of the eagle and don't go behind her.
I was just looking at pictures of Marcus with the eagle.
Oh, awesome.
I was a little distracted. Take my glasses off. Let's not have any of that. Tried to eat Marcus on the
So, Des is a female. They're bigger than the males. A male in Utah might weigh 9 or 10 pounds. Females about 14. In Alaska, they have a huge version of the bald eagle. Females could weigh 20 pounds. Males about 17. Then if you go to Florida, they have tiny bald eagles. The females are 7 or 8 pounds, and the males are 5 or 6. Females have to be bigger because they sit on the eggs. If you can cover the eggs better, the bigger the better. And you know, bald eagles, if they lay eggs, the eggs, from the moment they hatch, 45 days later, the babies or eaglets are as big as their parents. Birds get their size really fast because they have to learn to fly and get out of the nest. And so that's why they get their size so fast. people ask us all the time, why don't we see baby birds flying? And we're like, well, you do. They're just as big as their parents. And after 1 year, they don't look any different. Their feathers look just the same as the adults after a year, other than the bald eagle. Bald eagles don't get their white head till they're about 5. So when we met Destate, it was pretty cool. Her head was brown. She was 1 year old, so she had a couple of white feathers coming through. You know, and aren't we glad we chose bald eagle as our national symbol? We've all heard the story Ben Franklin wanted the turkey, right? Turkeys are cool. I know, wild turkeys. We had some at the Nature Center. They're wonderful. They're very smart. We had one that would come right in the building where we prepared the bird food, and he would sit next to the table and look at me because he knew I would give him treats. And he was wild. He just learned this. He would come in. But as much as I like them, they look stupid on the glove. They don't look nearly as cool as the bald eagle. So, whew, not the looks are everything. But, you know, they're much more regal than the turkey. Let's not say looks, let's say regal. And she's more powerful. So, you know, we're glad we got the bald eagle. So, Emma, are you cool with all your pictures, or do you?
Can I get one up with my brothers?
Of course. Yeah.
Come on, brothers.
3 brothers.
Yeah.
Awesome. No sisters?
No, sadly.
Talk to your mom.
Your dad is the way we're at.
Benji, look over here, bud. One more. Don't be jealous.
All right, anybody have questions? I can answer questions if anybody has. I could sit out here all day and bore you with bald eagle facts.
Any eaglets from her?
No, she's, you know, because she got injured so young, she's 3 months old, none for her. And we don't do breeding at the Nature Center. All our animals are injured, so then we'd have these babies with no healthy adult to teach them what to do. So, no, she does lay eggs, but they're not fertilized. And she acts like there's eaglets in them, because sometimes you can't get into her enclosure when she does lay eggs, because she protects them. Then eventually, sometimes we have to sneak in and put a pretend one in there and get the real one, and then take it out and put a hole in it and get all the yolk out. And then next time we go in, we sneak it back in. And if she breaks them herself, it's okay. Then she'll move on. We don't want her to see us taking them. So you have to trick her. Because she's getting better as time goes on, but it used to be pretty bad. She wouldn't let anybody in there. She wouldn't eat, because she wouldn't leave the eggs. So Bryce, who I told you she loved, he could go in and pretend to sit on the eggs, because she saw him as her mate. And then she'd pop up and go eat really fast, but nobody else could do that. So when Bryce retired, we were really worried, actually, if she laid eggs. But I think she took it as she lost her mate, so she just moved on, and she didn't care about it. She laid one egg and didn't really care about it. And I think it's because she saw it as I lost my mate, so too bad. She just got over it. And which is lucky for us, because it can be pretty scary when she had her eggs, if Bryce wasn't available. Because she would protect them just like they were going to become eagles. So anyway. Emma, are you good? Oh, sorry.
How often would you lay eggs?
It's just once a year. Eagles lay their eggs in February. So we made it. We didn't get any this year, so we're done. We got through it again, one more year with her not being too mad. Years ago, when she was just learning to go out to eagle courts, during egg laying season, we couldn't even take her, because you couldn't get in her enclosure to pick her up. So if we had an Eagle Court planned, we had to cancel it sometimes because she was just too vicious. So it's better for us if she doesn't lay them. Yeah.
Wait, why should the eggs when they can get warm?
When they can get what?
The eagle eggs can get warm?
Yeah, they get warm when the moms sit on them because they cover them with all their big body and feathers.
But there's no baby in them.
There's no, but Destate, she can still lay eggs, but she doesn't have a male eagle, so the eggs are not gonna ever be babies. But female birds lay eggs all the time, doesn't mean they're fertilized. You need a mom and a dad to have babies. And Des doesn't have a dad. Yeah. Des can be a mom because there's no dad for her. Okay, discuss it later, Zach and Ben. Yes, next year at school. Yeah, one more question. Awesome. Yes, he saw a bald eagle. It's the tail end, but in the winter in Utah, a lot of the bald eagles from Canada come here to winter because it's warmer and they have easier access to food on our waterways. Where up in Canada, everything freezes, it's too hard, so they come here. So it's a great time of the year to see a lot more bald eagles in Utah than normal. But they're leaving now. But next year, remember, go to one of the bird refuges in the area, at Farmington or the Bear River, and you can see tons of bald eagles. It's very cool. So Emma, did you get all the pictures you want?
I don't know. Did I?
She says yes. Your photographer says you did. So again, congratulations. Thanks for having us, Emma and Emma's mom. And we don't shake hands anymore or give you the certificate, but back behind here is a certificate with Destate's picture and your name on it. So be sure and pick that up. And thanks everybody. We'll get out of here and enjoy your evening.
Thank you so much for this, Dante, and her handlers tonight. Appreciate you being here. Am I not enough?
We didn't need the poopy. Yeah, thank you. See ya.